It is seriously going to be hard to put this week into words because
I heard it's pretty exciting.
There are weeks like this. They come around. Like some weeks we have some funny stories we go along with it. Some weeks we have stories, just one after another. And we have a bunch this week. Each week, Catherine, Radio Dead Air, audience go out the worldwide interwebs, find all sorts of horrible stuff, bring it back here for a little segment we like to call What the Hell. Now, before we get into the stories, we have a tradition here. Radio Dead Air. It's a seasonal one. Comes along every year, and we do need to set it up for you a bit if you're new here. You see, in Sweden, they do a thing far, far away from us, across the water. It's time now for the annual Goat Watch. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. See, there is a traditional Yule goat. That is, and I always say it wrong. I don't care. Gävle, Sweden. I always say it wrong.
I think it's Gävle.
I think it's Gävle.
YouTube will correct us.
Oh God, they will. And they build a gigantic 2, maybe 3-story tall straw goat. And they have done this determinedly for decades. Now, you might be asking, well, what's the big deal about that? Lots of places have traditions. Well, there is a sub-tradition to this tradition, and that is a quiet, secret war between the people who want to protect the goat and the people who want to burn that motherfucker down. It has burned more often than it has stayed up over all the years. So
it's kind of like the Eternals. This like quiet war has been going on in secret for
like Highlander, only stupid.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that we thought was going to prevent this from happening, the innovations, was because it is now the 21st century. They have started a live stream 24 hours of the goat. You can see it right here. We watch every year to see, will the goat burn or will it survive? And as of right now, this is day one. It's been erect for an entire day, which you need to consult your doctor if that happens. And we're going to watch and see if they make. See,
Goat looks like he's been working out this past year.
He looks a bit swole. Yes, he is in fact.
Yeah, like swole. Does that goat look like he's been roiding a bit? Because damn.
See, now they've got the webcam, I'm expecting some like 21st century countermeasures. Like we have not seen a drone strike on the goat yet.
That would be fascinating.
Like someone, all you have to do
why is the background all pixelated?
Oh, that's to prevent you from seeing anybody's faces if they're around the goat.
Oh,
because they don't have a release to put those people on the internet. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, I'm expecting to see someone tie like a cherry bomb to a can of WD-40 and fly it over there, one of those little quadcopter things. Because there's a list on Wikipedia of every year this thing is burned. Let's see here. It made it last year. Did not make it the year before that. It had a streak of 4 years there. It had a 4-year streak where it got through, and then last year, toast. The year before last, 2021 toast. 2022, it lived. I'm on the fence so far about whether it should stay or it should go. I don't know who I'm rooting for.
I mean, I'm generally pro burn it. And exactly know why. There's something very satisfying about it to me.
You know what we need to do? Remember them 1-900 numbers? We need to set up a 1-900 poll. Like, ask your parents before you call.
But tell us, should the goat burn? I bet you the news over there, I bet you some news station, if they have like a Swedish equivalent of the Daily Show.
Yeah.
I bet you they do that.
Oh, they are, they can't not be aware of it. It's part of their culture now, freaking burning. All right. So now that we've done that, we've checked in with the goat. Goat's still there. We'll see what happens over the next. It's going to be there till January. We'll check in with it every week.
Allegedly.
Now we're going to get into our stories, and we've got let's get right off the bat. Child driving stolen construction forklift leads Ann Arbor police on chase. The 12-year-old boy stole the construction vehicle from outside a middle school, leading police on an hour-long pursuit without headlights on. Oh,
that's an important enough detail to make the headline?
What? The no headlights?
He didn't even turn on the headlights.
I don't know if forklifts, do forklifts have headlights? They must.
I don't know.
A 12-year-old boy driving a stolen construction vehicle led police in Michigan on an hour-long chase, striking about 10 parked vehicles in the process. The vehicle, a Construction Genie GTH 636 telehandler, padding the word count.
Padding that word count.
Equipped with a forklift and weighing up to 35,000 pounds. Natalie Kane's respect for padding the word count here. Was stolen from outside Forsyth Middle School using a key found in the cab. So what happened was one of the construction workers left the key in the forklift outside
at that point,
a middle school.
I don't know that we can really call it stolen at that point. Like, if you leave the keys in it, can you really call it stolen? Oh, it's kind of like you gave it away.
I was watching the video. It just like went, wow. Damn.
It's kind of like you gave it away, I think.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like, here, kids, first come, first serve. You do not. A middle school.
This kid's not a good driver.
That a middle school is nothing but hormones and anxiety.
Yeah. Is there anything in this world scarier than a fucking 7th grader? I have a friend out here. She is the biggest badass I know because she teaches, I forget what they call it now. It's not home economics anymore. So I apologize. Yeah. I forget what they call it. Yeah. But she teaches that in a middle school. And I'm like, you're in a room with a bunch of middle schoolers with knives? You're a god. You're a badass.
I love this kid. Like, this kid is going to be, when he got arrested for this. When he gets out, he is going to own the school.
Yeah.
You are officially a legend.
You're the king of Forsyth Middle School.
This is the story they're going to pass down through the generations that come in. When every new 6th grade class comes in, they're going to be told about the magical night. The forklift was stolen.
And every year, it's going to get cooler.
Yep. This is like, I don't know how this happened, but it's beautiful. This is the poetry of chaos in all of this. So, this is just beautiful. Escaped kangaroo punches police officer in face before Oshawa capture.
And he went to Forsyth Middle School.
A kangaroo was on the loose east of Toronto since last week, and it was found and captured early Monday. Temporarily hosted at the Oshawa Zoo as it recovers. Staff Sergeant Chris Beaulieu said officers were on patrol, spotted the missing marsupial around 3 a.m. on a rural property and were able to keep eyes on it for 4 hours. Meantime, Payer was able to get in touch with the kangaroo's handlers, and on their advice, quote, they actually just grabbed it by the tail. That's at the point. If the kangaroo handler is telling me, oh, just grab me by the tail, my response is going to be, are you fucking with me? Are you?
They are.
Yeah,
you should not do that.
The female kangaroo punched one of the officers in the face during the apprehension.
Kangaroo will fuck you up.
Damn.
Like, yes, they're adorable and they hop and that's so cute. They will fuck your shit up, dude.
Cameron.
I know I've mentioned this before. I'm a big fan of Dr. K's Exotic Animal ER. Yeah. I don't think the show's on. They haven't made a new season in a while, but she gets kangaroos occasionally. And they always cut to like an interview clip of her being like, please do not keep these as a pet. They are so dangerous.
No, yes. These are creatures, even if they're from Australia, even the shit that looks adorable has been made, it's evolved to survive in one of the most hostile environments on the entire planet. Anything.
The whole continent is just like purgatory.
Yeah, anything that comes from Australia should be regarded as one of the most lethal things on the planet.
And it's funny because like Australia is like purgatory, and then right next to it is the Shire. Which I guess makes Australia Mordor?
Kind of. We're going to get letters. Cameron Prade, park supervisor and head keeper for the Oshawa Zoo and Fun Farm, said the animal was in a truck en route to a zoo in Quebec when it, quote, jumped over its handlers and escaped during what was supposed to be a brief stop for arrest at the facility late Thursday. She was not having it.
I'm sorry, did they just put it in the back seat like a dog?
I guess. They were like trying to transport it. They stopped. They were taking a break, and it did like that $6 million man.
The kangaroo said, parkour. Fun fact, that's exactly how Valkyrie wound up spending 3 days in our garage. Because we tried to transfer her from the trap to a crate, and she parkoured over Dan's shoulder. And luckily it was during lockdown, so we weren't leaving the house, so we were able to just set the trap and wait for her to get hungry. Do not underestimate animals.
It's just it. Australia is out to survive at any cost. And everything that comes from there has learned to survive at any cost.
We can only be grateful that Australia seeks only to survive and not to conquer.
Well, I can kind of imagine it's probably very exhausting to live in Australia. It's probably very exhausting. Oh, all right. Moving on to Florida, because of course there's fucking Florida. Have you ever had a job you just flat out quit? You walk the hell off?
No.
Because when I was growing up, we had the whole it was drilled into our heads that we have to give notice and that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, it's only right.
I did quit a job without notice because they just were compulsively scheduling me on only the days I said I couldn't work. Yeah,
which that's the passive aggressive way to get you to quit.
Yeah.
The people you work for never give you 2 weeks notice, but regardless.
Right.
I can respect walking off the job, just quitting and going home, except, well, you can't, except Florida man arrested for quitting job in the middle of transporting prison inmates.
No.
Oh, this gets amazing. An Orlando man was arrested after he drove a van full of prison inmates off course and refused to stop while traveling in North Carolina. Tuesday around 9 a.m., deputies received a call to be on the lookout for an inmate transport van The caller was the owner of the inmate transport company and reported the driver was off course and refusing to return the van. The driver, Joshua James Pinkett, well, had
yeah.
Pinkett?
I'm thinking Pinkett.
Pinkett, Pinquet. So he had 4 inmates in the locked cargo area of the van. Another employee was traveling.
Better than the Kangaroo.
Another employee was traveling in the van with Pinkett, who was texting the transport company owner. So the dude's sitting across from him like, I'm telling.
Well,
I'm telling on you.
That person's a hostage now.
Pinkett told the owner he was quitting his job in the middle of the trip and refused to stop at the intended destination for prisoners. Deputies stopped the van in I-40 and learned Pinkett was supposed to stop location in Hickory with inmates, but refused to stop. He was charged with, and this is kind of like, what? But yeah, 5 counts of felony second-degree kidnapping and felony larceny by an employee. That's the thing about kidnapping. Even if you don't lay a hand on a person, if you are in control of their destination and you don't allow them to leave, holding someone against their will in any way, shape, or form can constitute kidnapping.
Unless you run a prison.
But
yeah.
What in the
what was the plan?
The good plan would be there's another dude in the car with you, right?
Get out.
Go to a Stuckey's, pull your ass over, walk away. Bye. Yeah. You're done.
You have 4 inmates.
Right.
What were you going to tell them? At what point? And at some point, they were going to need to eat and pee.
Can I go to the bathroom? No. We're going to stop? No.
What was your plan?
This is one of those stories. It's like, why? What the hell? How was this supposed to fucking work?
You got to think some shit through.
Right? You had the opportunity to do this properly in such a way that, it's not great, but fuck it, sure. Not your problem. Now you're going to jail. How does your ass go to jail for kidnapping prison inmates? You are going to confuse the shit out of a jury.
I mean, last week we had people go to jail for breaking into prison. America is at the point where we have lost the concept of prison.
That's not how this works.
No longer computes.
Like, was he going to go off and start his own? Was he going to make his own prison?
I'm going into business for myself.
I already got some prisoners.
That's really different than stealing office supplies.
Like, when the dude's in the car next to you, I can only imagine what he was thinking is like, all right, is this going to turn out like some Saw shit? Or I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, I would genuinely be terrified if that was that other person. Because it doesn't say what those 4 inmates were. They could have been low level, like stole a beer. You never know. They might not have been dangerous people. But the guy behind the wheel kind of is.
Well, I'll tell you what, with a good lawyer can probably get him out. But you know what? We don't have a good lawyer this week. Holy crap. Literally. Attorney suspended for pooping in a Pringles can, leaving it in victim advocate's parking lot. The Ohio Supreme Court suspended an attorney who defecated in a Pringles poop can. What's a poop can now? Pringles potato chip can.
The way the video cuts to a can of
Pringles, right? He pooped in a Pringles potato chip can and then tossed it into the parking lot of a crime victim advocacy center. Criminal defense attorney Jack A. Blakesley's conduct was called into question, his fitness to practice law. Blakesley's defense. He said he didn't target anyone, but had a habit of putting his feces in Pringles cans and randomly throwing them from his car. He claimed he pulled the Pringles prank at least 10 times that year. Buddy, my dude, my man, what, sir?
I mean, like, but I do it all the time is never a good defense.
Not
especially. Also, I'm a little concerned with your Pringles intake. That's a lot of sodium.
Blakesley is.
I am, however, a little impressed with your coordination.
It's not hard. It's not easy to poop in a straight line. Like, you know.
Right. Like, that's a little impressive in the worst possible way.
Yeah. That's some, discipline, I guess.
Yeah.
Blakesley had known the victim's advocate at the center for years and was scheduled to see them in court 15 minutes after the Pringles deposit. At the time, Blakesley was
Oh, no.
Blakely was representing someone accused in a capital murder case.
You don't think you should take that just a little more seriously? Because in that case, the victim's advocate is representing a dead person.
Hey, where's my attorney? You're not going to believe this.
Also, if you're a defense attorney, how do you not know better than to talk? I mean, I guess you don't know better than to shit in cans and throw them around. So what am I saying?
Well, he wasn't arrested. This wasn't an
arrest. Excuses anyway.
This wasn't an arrest. This was a you have to, defend yourself against keeping your license. He's been suspended for a year with 6 months. 6 months of that suspension stayed. What the fuck? What? So he doesn't get to be a lawyer for 6 months.
That's the penalty for just throwing bio waste around?
It's a homemade biological weapon.
I can't believe his thing was, but I do this all the time. That's not better.
Guess what? Forevermore. This Jack Blakesley forevermore is going to be the poop attorney. Forever. Ever. That's not going away.
You better start buying those Pringles bulk on Amazon, because you are never buying one at a 7-Eleven again without some 18-year-old shit laughing at you. No pun intended.
Well, we have more fun with butts, and by fun I mean not fun at all. This is not the first time we've had this sort of story. But it's the details that really make it. The little details. Cops. Suspect had handgun inside his body.
The fact that the link is called concealed carry.
An ex-con with a lengthy rap sheet who was prohibited from carrying a handgun had a Smith & Wesson pistol stashed in his rectum when he was booked into the jail early this morning. Christopher Boyd, 32, was a passenger in a vehicle pulled over around 2 a.m. for obstructed license plate. Driver and a second passenger were eventually released after being searched. A pat down of Boyd, however, turned up a small bag with multiple pills in his right sock. Boyd reportedly told he's the narcotics from his Aunt Trish. Believed the pills to be Percocet. He used the painkiller because he had a bullet lodged in his spine. Okay. Sure. Before being placed in a cruiser, Boyd was searched, though he claimed to be unable to spread his legs very far due to the spine injury. While searching the Boyd's groin area, Boyd tensed up, asked the suspect had anything stuffed his groin or buttocks. Boyd stated he did not. Now here's the part that's just... Upon arriving at the jail, Boyd was, quote, now walking with a limp and appeared to be clenching his buttocks when he walked. He was then placed through a body scanner, which detected a large object in his groin area. Strip search located 2 plastic bags containing marijuana tucked next to Boyd's scrotum. Police then sought to remove an unknown item from Boyd's rectum. Boyd had continued to clench his buttocks. A cop was able to see an object that Boyd had in his rectum was a handgun. Now, there's only one way you could tell. Now, I say this, I pretty much, I'm not an expert on this, but to my estimation, there's only one way you could tell that was a handgun. And that was if the handle and trigger was sticking out. So that's a bad way of handling that. Because I looked up this gun. This gun is a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, 380 caliber, weighs about 12 ounces, and is 5 inches long. The dude put that up his butt and then walked around with it.
And he also had some bags of pot tucked behind his scrotum, which who the fuck is smoking that?
The balls on this guy.
Yeah. My question with these stories is always the same.
Yeah.
Like, we've had guns up the vagina.
Oh,
and yes, those are designed to have things go in them, but they're designed to have things of a very specific shape go in them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not things with a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, I would assume it would apply to butts as well.
Right, because they're not even designed to have anything go in them. We design things for that, which is fine. But none of those have 90-degree angles either.
No, not unless someone's got a really specific kink.
Like, how I am fascinated by the physics of that. Because either the whole thing's not up there, in which case you really better have been doing your Kegels, or you're causing some really problematic internal damage making that turn.
Yeah, I don't understand how he thought he could get through this. You had 2 options, my dude. You had the first option to say, all right, I'm under arrest. You've got me. You're going to strip search me. Here's all the shit I have. It's not going to be a great outcome. But the other outcome is you have a handgun in your anus.
Yeah.
How is that the more preferable? Because it's like they're going to catch you, or they're going to catch you and you have a handgun in your anus.
And I'm trying to go back. Did they pull him over?
Well, he was pulling.
Was a passenger in the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay, so presumably he stowed it when they pulled him over. Which, how did you do it so fast?
Chris, what are you doing? Don't ask. Don't ask, man. Don't ask.
Because presumably you were wearing a garment with a crotch.
Yeah.
Maybe he was wearing a skirt, but it doesn't say so I'm going to assume otherwise.
Yeah.
So, not in the time it takes the cop to walk up to the car, you have to, disrobe, shove a whole gun up your ass, get yourself dressed again.
And I'm pretty sure there wasn't
in a car.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't KY on hand. So
get this guy on the phone with Cirque du Soleil. He doesn't need to be living a life of crime. He's a contortionist. There's money in that. You don't need to be living a life of crime.
Jesus Christ. Now you might be asking, folks, what could possibly top this?
Oh, we're not done.
We're not done. Oh, mother. This one comes from Vietnam. I read this headline to myself 3 times, and I still was just not processing what the fuck had happened. Man shocked to discover source of headaches for 5 months is pair of chopsticks inside his skull.
How could that shock you? How could you possibly not know?
A pounding headache led to a shocking discovery for a man in Vietnam after the source of the pain was revealed to be a pair of chopsticks. Not one, a complete set. After the man experienced severe headaches for 5 months, doctors at Cuba Friendship Hospital told the 35-year-old man he had a pair of chopsticks lodged inside his skull. Upon checking the hospital on November 25th, a CT scan revealed the man was suffering from a rare, potentially life-threatening neurological condition that was caused by the pair of chopsticks that had allegedly gone up his nose and into his brain. The Post reported,
and you're just walking around not dead?
The Post reported the man was initially surprised at how chops ended up inside his skull. He soon remembered a fight he was involved in while out drinking 5 months prior. The patient told doctors he could not recall many details from the fight, but he did remember someone stabbing him in the face with an unknown object. Surgeons successfully removed the chopsticks. Patient was said to be in stable condition, waiting to be released. How the fuck?
I have several questions.
I would expect.
My first one is,
oh yeah,
I don't know how to use chopsticks, but I've seen them.
I use it a little bit.
They're long.
They are.
Every pair of chopsticks I've ever seen is at least like a foot long.
I've seen some about this big. They're not like super. Some, it depends.
Like, do you have a fucking Geiger alien skull? Where are you keeping it?
Well, the nasal cavity is fairly large.
Yes, but how big is your actual head?
Well, they do. They have chopsticks. They have chopsticks that are smaller. They are not all like gigantic. They do have chopsticks that are smaller.
My next question is, how are you not dead?
I know, right? Do you remember?
Generally, you think something stabbing your brain.
Did you ever take this?
It's pretty fucking bad.
Did you take Psych 101?
Yes.
Do you remember they tell us Phineas Gage? They tell us a story about the dude who shot the metal bar through his head.
Right, railroad spike.
And lived, only he turned into a son of a bitch.
Yeah, it totally changed his personality. I guess that's true. Yeah, you could puncture the brain and survive. But my next question, if you remember, even vaguely, getting stabbed in the face with something, but there is no wound in your face.
Right.
Do you not feel like you should investigate that further?
Well, here's the other one this is a thing. I'm not saying it's exclusive to dudes.
The chat would like us to know that lobotomies used to be done through the nose. At least 6 of them would like us to know that.
I'm not saying this is exclusively to dudes. I am saying this is sort of dude culture. Severe headaches, and this guy waited 5 months to go to the doctor. I am guilty of this myself. This is a very guy thing to do. Because you just tough it out. I have degenerative discs. The squishy bits between my spinal discs are giving out.
Yeah.
So that happens sometimes. So for approximately 2 or 3 years, I was getting incredible headaches. And I was just sort of treating them with a lot of Excedrin and cold compresses until finally I went to my doctor and said, and she's like, yeah, let's take an x-ray. And lo and behold, and then she's like, yeah, here's some anti-inflammatories. I have been fine ever since.
Now, women have the opposite problem, eventually, where we do go to the doctor for the thing, but the doctor tells us it's our period.
Yeah, it's not funny, but yeah.
My shoulder's dislocated. Is it your period? I literally found out at the age 44 that I had eczema. Been mentioning to doctors, to dermatologists my whole life. Yeah, I'm always itchy, but I guess it's just Irish skin. And they were like, yeah, probably anxiety. Went for a physical. My doctor took one look and was like, you have eczema.
And it's not even,
so,
it's not even.
We're all walking around falling apart at the end of the day.
It's not even one reason or another. It's not even like an expectation that guys don't go to. It's like we kind of. This is toxic masculinity. We got to tough it out, right?
Yeah.
Because you gotta go run to the doctor for every little bump and bruise. All right, part of that is also we're in America and we have for-profit healthcare, but still, we're expected. Oh, come on, don't be a baby. You're just having a headache. Screw you. Don't be a baby. 5 months, and the dudes.
And that is, and gents, that is literally killing you. Please don't do that.
This dude's gonna go back to work and be like, hey, you remember you were telling me just tough it out? They found chopsticks.
Don't be a pussy.
They found chopsticks in my brain. I was walking around for 5 months with chopsticks in my brain. I am tougher than every single man in this room.
Now also think about what kind of infection.
Oh, God. What were the chopsticks in? Yes.
Right. Because even if they had not recently been in someone's mouth, and the human mouth is fucking filthy, by the way. Zombie movies, fun fact. People that get bit don't die from zombies. They die from the human bite and then turn into a zombie. Because human mouths are disgusting. So even if those chopsticks had not recently been in a petri dish of horrors, they probably weren't sterile.
No, they're certainly not sterile.
And your brain isn't generally exposed to the outside world. It's very well protected.
This is
so like, how did he not die of fucking, I don't know, is brain sepsis a thing? He might have invented it.
It's like, good Lord, how are you alive? Like I've had doctors look at me and go, how are you walking around? This is way past that. This is way past that.
Can you imagine being the doctor who has to bring in those x-ray results? Where do you even begin? Well, I think we found the problem.
Well, the first,
and then when the guy's like, "What? How did those get there?" I was hoping you would tell me.
Well, I guess the first thing we learned this week is go to the doctor.
Please
go to the doctor.
Also, we're starting the rectal spective early.
We're starting the rectal spective early. Yeah, it's if you have to insert a weapon inside your person, if that's one of the outcomes, and the other outcome is not insert, choose the not. Because either way, you're going to get in the same amount of trouble. It's just one of them will not have a gun up your butt.
Yeah. And that's almost certainly better.
We have learned that choose your attorney well, because they may be pooping in a Pringles can and throwing it at people. That is a thing that is actually, I've said that sentence.
That shouldn't be a question you have to ask your attorney.
Yeah, just have your references.
Have you ever pooped in a Pringles can?
You ever pooped in a Pringles can and thrown it at somebody? Okay, just checking. Had to be sure. Had to be sure. My last guy. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. We've learned if you need to quit your job, that's cool. Just don't make it a felony.
Yeah.
We have learned that every single thing in Australia is made to survive at all costs. So if at all possible, don't fuck with it.
It is not a mistake that the Mad Max movies are set in Australia.
Like, the man is lucky he just got punched. You seen the back legs of Kangaroo? They got claws. They will pop back and finally we've learned if you leave the keys to a forklift in the forklift across from a middle school, you don't deserve to have a forklift.
I think it's bullshit that kid got arrested, honestly. That doesn't even count as theft to me.
That's like, that was an infiltration.
Yeah.
That kid is going to be a hero. He's literally
that kid might have peaked at 12.
Shit.